and then we'll have, media members out at practice, which is really good for you guys to be able to watch this kind of unfold in an unprecedented year. One thing I just wanted to explain a little bit to you is, relative to practices, we're still in the ramp up period here. So everybody's a little bit unique in their ramp up schedule. It really shows you the importance of an off-season program. We didn't have the off-season program. So when everybody came back, we did a lot of sports performance testing. We did a lot of different things that gave us metrics relative to where each player was at. So every player from the 12-year veteran to the rookie is on a little bit of a different plan. So when you guys come out to practice today, we've been going at this for a while. We just got done with phase 3, 2 OTA practices. We had phase 2 before that. We had phase 1. Everybody's on a different plan. So I know you guys will ask me probably tomorrow about some different guys that may or may not practice today. I'm not going to get into all that with you. I just want you to kind of have an understanding of each player being in a unique situation relative to their ramp up. With that, I'll open it up to questions.
John, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Bill.
John.
You talked about you guys have considered every possible scenario. And I know you got a succession plan. What happens if you are around somebody who tests positive or you test positive? What do you do during the week? And then who takes over for you on game days? And the same thing with Anthony and Tim.
Yeah, great question. So far, to start that off, we've had, knock on wood, we've had zero positive tests, which is really good, especially here in Houston with what's going on here in Houston. Our guys have been, to this point, very disciplined when they've left the building and done a great job. Relative to your question, if it's me, we've got a former head coach on the staff and Romeo Crennel. We've got Jack Easterby. We have a very, very good backup plan there. I don't think they'd miss me that much. Then relative to defensively, we've got guys on the defensive side of the ball that are very bright, all of them. Any one of them could step in, whether it's Danton Lynn or any one of them. And then offensively, obviously with Tim Kelly, obviously I've called plays before. You've got guys, very bright guys that have been with us for a long time. Will Lawing, TJ Yates has played and coached in the system. Mike Devlin been around us, going on 6 years now. So special teams wise, we've got some really good young coaches. Will Lawing's another guy. If something were to happen to Tracy, so there's something that we talk about every day, but it's hard to plan for the unknown. You do have to have a plan in place, but we have some plans in place.
So does that mean Romeo would take your place on the sideline if you couldn't coach on game?
I mean, I don't want to. I wouldn't commit to that right now, but obviously he would have a major role if I was to be in quarantine. Romeo Crennel, who's just, as everybody knows, is an awesome member of our staff, would have a major role in that.
Let me ask one more thing real quick. So if it's during the week, you just coach on Zoom, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, we're a Zoom team. I mean, we Zoom every night at 5:45. We meet in person here at 9. The rookies meet at 9, then we meet with the full squad at 9:30. Then we have meetings after that, and then we practice around 11:30, and then we Zoom at night. So yeah, we definitely would be able to Zoom, no doubt about it.
Aaron Wilson.
Good morning, Bill.
Hey,
Bill, when you look at the way this season may go, is it kind of a feeling? Is it strange? What's kind of the emotions like as you get out there? It's exciting, but just is this feel sort of strange to you? And also, I had a follow-up. Thank you.
Yeah, the first thing is kind of like it is a little bit odd. I wouldn't be telling the truth if I said it wasn't odd. I mean, this is odd, right? I'm looking into a camera. There's your face on the screen. I mean, this in and of itself is odd. You know what I mean? Like, I certainly don't have a face for Zoom. I can promise you that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it's very unique. Like I said in the beginning, I think that's what I'm asking you guys to have a level of understanding. And as we go through training camp with you guys here, of our ramp up schedule for different players, that's what we're doing. We've put a lot of study and science into this thing, and that's a little different, right? In years past with an off-season program, we would have already been in pads for a while and things like that. So things are a little bit different, but everybody's going through the same thing. Everybody's approaching it in a little bit different way. This is the way we're approaching it, and our team has been really good so far.
And my follow-up, Kenny Stills, he had a decision like all players to make about whether he would opt out. What were your conversations like with Kenny, without divulging too much private information, but just in general, just your thoughts on having Kenny back with you? How excited are you that Kenny ultimately decided to play? And when do you expect him to possibly be activated from the illness thing? And if you could tell us anything about that. Yeah,
I think that my conversations with Kenny never involved opting out. Kenny wants to play football this year. Like a lot of young guys, especially a lot of young African-American men in this country right now, they're passionate about what's going on. And Kenny is definitely in that category. He's very passionate. He's very smart. He believes in the fight for racial justice, and he just needed some time. I mean, he's come back in here. He's in great shape. He won't be out there practicing today, but I don't think it'll be too much longer before he will be out there practicing. He's working with our strength coaches right now. Again, just having not seen him in a long time before he arrived here, we're trying to get a gauge as to where he is, but he'll be out there pretty soon.
Mark Berman.
Hey, Bill, can you talk about your competition at running back?
Yeah, I mean, start with Duke Johnson, and hold on a second. Start with Duke Johnson and David Johnson. I mean, both those guys have come back in really good shape. Both guys had good days yesterday. They're three down backs that can help us in a lot of different areas. And so those are the two main running backs. But you have other guys. You've got a guy like Cullen Gillespie that's, kind of a guy that is a core special teams player, but he can do a lot of things from the backfield. You've got Buddy Howell, who's a core special teams guy who can do some things. Karan Higdon has come back in great shape and is really competing hard to try to gain a spot on the roster. Excuse me. Then Scotty Phillips. You got Scotty Phillips out there, an undrafted guy who's gotten better and better every day. So, in some ways it's very competitive relative to the 53, but Duke and David are doing a good job. Cullen's doing a good job. It's a very good group. It's a very good room.
Aaron Reese.
Hey, Bill, with some of the college football major conferences canceling their seasons or postponing their seasons, what directive have you given to your personnel department in terms of just how to navigate that situation this coming year?
Yeah, we're talking about that right now. I mean, some of the protocols, are still unknown relative to when the NFL will allow scouts to travel, or if they will, college scouts will the colleges allow them into their buildings to watch film, or in the case of, like, let's just say the SEC, if they're playing, can they come to practice? I mean, so there's a lot of unknown there, Aaron. I think one thing we're going to try to do is we're going to really try to involve them with different projects relative to college, but also relative to the pro game. I think it gives them, there's a unique opportunity for our college scouts in this whole deal to really be able to, get a firm grasp on the pro game too. And while they're studying, the 19 season of college, the guys that we feel are draft eligible if they're not playing this year. So there's a lot that can be done. And Matt and I and Jack, we're talking about that every day.
Christy.
Bill, what are some things you'd like to see from Deshaun during training camp or this year in order for him to take that next step and just get to another level for your team?
He's practicing really well, Christy. He was out there yesterday, had a really good practice. He's got a really good grasp of our offense, how we want to run it. Timmy's doing a good job with him. TJ Yates is doing a good job. I think, Deshaun is really focused. He's locked in at practice, and as long as he keeps doing that, he will definitely take the next step, and then the next step, and be like he always has, be a great player for our team. There's new guys around him that he's getting used to, and that's been good for him too, because he's able to go out there and see what their skill set is and talk to them. His communication's been great with the team, so he's working hard to get better and better every day.
Brian T. Smith.
Hey, Bill, going back to Deshaun, he obviously leads on the field. You can just, players can watch him. They can be inspired by him. But how has he learned to lead off the field, whether it's, in the locker room? He's been more active with, a lot of the social justice issues, speaking out about that. Compare him to his rookie year to where he's at now, just in terms of his overall leadership, leading this team.
Yeah, I think as you gain more experience in the league and you play really at a high level like he has, I think you gain a voice. You gain the respect of the locker room, which he has. Relative to in the building, he comes in early, lifts early, he's watching film, he's in here, he's talking to his teammates. Even though we're divided up into 3 locker rooms, we have a lot of the receivers and running backs in the main locker room, and so they're talking after practice. And then, off the field, I don't know too much about everything that goes on with him off the field. I know that he does a great job. He's very passionate about social justice and those things, and he's just a great guy. He's a good person. He cares about his teammates. He cares about the team, and he's a winner. And so, I just think he's doing a good job year in and year out of getting better and better at those things.
Sarah?
Bill, Will Fuller told us last week that he spent a lot of time this offseason focusing on his posture and other things to make sure he can have a healthy season. What have you seen from him so far that tells you that this is the year that he's going to be able to stay healthy for all 16 games?
Yeah, he came back at about 190 pounds, strong, lower body strong. He's confident in what he's doing. He's on a unique ramp-up schedule too, Sarah, but he's doing a lot of good things and working hard and ramping up towards the season. But you definitely saw how much work he put into the off season when he showed up here. You could see the work that he had put in.
Sean?
Hey, Bill, with
Sean.
with no preseason games and a first-time play caller on offense and on defense with Anthony, I'm curious how difficult and how important it will be to sort of simulate the live game situations with these guys, just the live bullets flying and calling plays on the fly. And have you determined yet if they're going to be on the sidelines or if they're going to be up in the booth?
Yeah, I think that what we do, the way that we structure practice, really the way we always have is, they're used to, in the beginning of training camp, you have a script, right? So you're trying to get installation, making sure that you get all your plays in, your situations, everything that you have a checklist, and so you have a script, and so you're just calling it off of a script. But as training camp goes on, the mode that we're in right now, there's really no script. I'll call out the situation. Anthony and Tim are on opposite sidelines with their units. They're substituting. They're calling the play based on what I've yelled out. Now, it's not the same because you don't have the coaches upstairs and things like that, but they're not able to just get into a robotic read off a script. So I think that is something that helped me when I was first starting out calling plays. I believe that helps them. We will definitely have a couple of scrimmages, where we'll work game type operations. We'll have coaches up in the booth. Those guys will be on the sideline. Both guys will be on the sideline. I think it's important. They both have really good presence. It's important for their players, to me, like in that instance where you've coached the player face to face all week, and now all of a sudden on game day, the most important day of the week, you go upstairs and you don't have the eyeball to eyeball contact with the player. I just think there's something missing there. And so these guys will both be on the sideline, and they're doing a good job. They're really doing a good job, both guys.
Greg Bailey?
Good morning, Bill. I know you've talked to us about a high satisfaction level with the work that you've been able to do in Zoom meetings. Strictly in terms of the on-the-field work, we're getting our first look today. How would you describe the level of preparedness and those kind of things given the unique situation and the fact that you are less than a month out from playing a real life football game?
I think it's been good. I mean, I think that, I think these guys enjoy the Zoom. I mean, that's probably a good question for them. They probably enjoy it more than I do. I'm just, the Zoom is always something for me that I'm still getting used to, but our guys do a good job. We have ways to teach on the Zoom. Again, I got to give credit to our IT, our video department, Timmy Brogg. We have ways to teach on the Zoom that are really good, whether it's Discord where we can show film or it's a Kahoot program where we can test them. So we've really done a lot of different things on Zoom that have helped them learn. I think they like being in the comfort of their own home and learning and Zooming. And we have Zoom etiquette that we talk about, relative to mute and unmute and all those different things. So I think it's been good because when they show up every day, they're ready to go and their assignments have been good. I mean, the rookies are a different deal. They're learning, but the guys that are veteran players, I think it's been good so far.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Seth.
You'd mentioned, all the body tracking data that you can monitor these guys, see how they're moving. Do you find yourself wrestling like with the old school coaching mentality at times where, all right, just throw them into more wind sprints if they're out of shape versus now where like you're trying to keep them healthy to some degree?
Yeah, I'd say about 2 or 3 years ago, I would say yes to, that I was like, wait a minute, I don't even know what this number means. I don't understand what 350 means on a player load count. What does that mean? But over the last 3 years, with the help of, Mike Eubanks and Roland Ramirez and Jack Easterby, I've learned more about it and I've understood more about it. And so now I see how it applies. And I think the way it applies is we have job descriptions for everybody on the team. So if you look at, let's just take the corner position. We have corners, but we have corners plus because Keon Crossan is a gunner. So he's going to do more high speed, long distance running in practice than Bradley Roby, who is not a gunner. Or at safety, you have AJ Moore, who's another really good special teams player who's going to do a lot more long distance running, high speed running than, let's just say, Eric Murray at this point in time. Although Eric will play special teams too, maybe that's not as good of a comparison. At receiver, you have guys that are running down on special teams, but other guys that don't do that. So you've got to take that into account. Also, the age of the player. If you have a guy that's at the age of 28, 29, 30 years old, I think it's important to understand that player load, when to track, when to give them a day off, or maybe just back off a little bit. So we're using that a lot. I think it's helping us. We're not where we want to be. We still have some soft tissue deals that we have to deal with, but I've definitely bought into it and really have learned a lot from it.
Also, follow up, what's the most creative way you've ever seen a player try to either sneak a woman into the hotel or sneak himself?
Maybe offline, I can tell you a story from last training camp where we had to move on. But no, I have not seen that too many times. But yeah, these guys have done a good job.
Which player it was?
No, you wouldn't even know. They were low on the depth chart. But we, I think we're staying. Most of our guys are staying at home. And then we have a hotel available to them if they want it. And our guy, we got a great locker room. Our guys have been really good, and we haven't had to deal with any of those issues.
Mark Berman.
Hey, Bill, what are some early expectations, thoughts on PJ Hall?
Yeah, so PJ we brought in. We're taking a chance on PJ. PJ is a guy that played at Sam Houston State, was drafted in the second round in 2018. He's got a lot of talent. He's a guy that, has flashed at times in this league. He's got to get in shape, so you won't see him out there today. We got to get him in shape, lose a little bit of weight, and then get him on the field and see what he can do, because he has shown the ability to play good football in Oakland at times, but he's got to, do a little bit of proving that to us. And I think so far so good. He's working his butt off and for the last couple of days. And so we'll keep watching him and we'll get him out there when we can.
Go last one for John McClain.
Bill, you told us in February you were turning over the play calling Tim Kelly. Now that you see how much talent you got at receiver, including the running backs and the tight ends. Do you wish you'd have kept it? And what did you learn as a first-time play caller yourself that you think will help you as far as letting Tim do what he's supposed to do as the first-time play caller?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that you just learn through experience, and so we, like Sean asked before, we try to give them those experiences in practice. I really like how we handled that, or hey, I think next time that comes up, I can do a better job of that. The no script philosophy I think is really important. Relative to Tim, he's doing a great job. Look, at the end of the day, we all know we've got these conversations are awesome, and you're full of excitement, and you see the possibilities of the team. But at the end of the day, having done this for a while now, the proof is in the pudding, right? So we have a lot of good players. We got a great quarterback. Tim does a great job. He teaches them. He's got passion. He's excited. He's a very bright guy. Say the same thing about Anthony Weaver. The guys they're focused. They're learning. They like meeting with these guys. They have good personalities. I'm able to concentrate on other things, more of the full team picture. I'm able to meet with players a little bit more on the other side of the ball, defensively or on special teams, things like that. So it allows me to hopefully be a better head coach. We've won a lot of games here the last 2 years, but we're not where we want to be. And I think those moves, in my opinion, are going to help us get to where we want to be. And so that's why we made those moves, and hopefully that turns out the right way. But that's, I think both guys, Timmy and Weaver, are doing a great job.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, guys. See you out there.